Greetings and welcome to Project Nautilus. I am Darkling and this of course is Ark Survival Evolved. Today we are in the shadow of Project Pandora, quite literally. There it is up there. And we will be starting on a new project, Project Nautilus, which is my first recorded raft build. Now this is going to be above the extremes of Ark. There's 10 times platforms on at the moment, and I also have advanced rafts installed, so I'll be running a large advanced raft. So the platform count and structure count, it's going to be a lot higher than normal. I will check at the end to see how far it's how close it is to reaching that maximum, so I can tell you once the raft's finished as to how big it actually is. But stick around and hopefully you'll learn something. Alrighty, so of course we're going to have to start with a raft, so let's get that in the water. Now I'm building in creative mode today. This is a bit different for me. I'm not really used to this sort of functionality, so it should be fun to get involved in. So I've got the advanced large raft. I'm pretty sure it's the large one. I have to be sure. Just hover over it. Now I've got to be sure because I have done it in the past where I've accidentally done the wrong size. It must be it to my hotbar. We'll find out soon enough. Okay, so let's delve into this. We're going to need some foundations. So let's go with found. And I'm going to go with some metal. I will need some for the actual raft itself. So what happens when you're building a sub raft is obviously the raft is still on the surface, but the sub itself is obviously below. I'm also going to need some pillars. Looks like I've already got a hotbar there. So the trick we're going to use here is hit 7 to place the pillar, grab the tiller and try and place it. Okay, I'm going to look up ever so slightly and away we go. There we go. So as you can see, it's sitting out quite a way from the raft, it looks like. Normally it's a little bit closer on a regular raft. I'm pretty sure that's just because of it being advanced raft. So let's get stuck in. I'm going to place the first couple of foundations so that we can get an anchor point for the structure. I'm going to go 9, split this raft into 2. Okay, so what we've done here is the way this centers, I don't want a single central foundation running through. I actually want 2. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to drop a ceiling on each side of that. As you can see, I'm halfway through the raft and I've got myself a central line to work off. So from here I am going to drop an underwater pod. Now I know that's not the correct name, it's just what I call them. So bear with me. I'm going to open that one because I apparently placed myself inside it. And we're going to go down a couple. Now normally I stick to about that height, but I think I might drop one extra. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's go to the one extra. Now, the really interesting thing about the way these work is you can actually remove them and they will stay attached to the raft. Now, I'm going to remove this bottom one because I actually want to split this again. I'm going to place that there. Now, the one thing I really wanted to do on this build that I can't do is I wanted to use the tech elevator to get in and out of it. Unfortunately, the tech elevator does not seem to work on a platform, which is very sad. But anyway, on we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this out as long as I can. And we're going to work to what extremes we can. So So obviously this side's going to match. I love these kinds of builds. These are the ones that really tickle my fancy. Like Project Pandora was cool, it had some neat features about it. It didn't, ooh, looks like I had a bit of a lag there. It didn't really push all the buttons for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how it came out. It looks fantastic. It wasn't very groundbreaking other than the fact that it's floating in the air. I'm just going to pull the raft out a little bit. I'm a bit too close to Pandora. As you can see, everything below is traveling with the raft, not a problem. Now I would say I will not be able to place any more compartments after this. Oh, it is letting me. Interesting. How far out will it let me? Okay, that's as far as we'll go. So, will it allow me? No. So I'm going to knock the end ones off. Okay, it will allow me to place that one. And have I got something? Oh, there's a slope wall. Okay, so it will allow me to place that on the back of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to lose that. That is going to be my back section, I think. How far back are we? Okay, so I think at this point I am... Allow me in the middle. That looks pretty good. I might do an overlap section at the back. Okay, so from here I am going to get a little bit more interesting. Now it's going to have outriggers. So I'm sure there's a better name for it than outriggers for a submarine, but hey, that's just what we're going to be building. Now, as you can see, I've built try off there, and then I'm going to place a couple of regular ceilings, and then I'm going to go back to try. Now, do I want to place the try now or afterwards? Let's try it now. Now, I did mock this up in single player, so I do have a rough idea as to how this is going to go. I just need to get it all sorted though. No matter how much you mock things up in single player, it's not quite going to work the same way. So I don't know if you saw what I did there. It's a try and a square, and I've snapped to the squares. So it's actually aligned to that, so if you can tell, there's actually a slight overlap into that square, into that cube. And I'm going to do the same thing coming outwards. I want to snap through that ceiling in there, and it's going to overlap this side ever so slightly. And from here I'm going to place that there, and that should allow me to snap. Okay, I'll snap this side. Whoops. Now you'd be amazed how long it took me to work out how that was going to actually fit into place. So as you can see, I can't go further back than that. Let's drop that one off. Looks about right. Oops. And let's just test the back end. Yep, I can mount off that. Actually, how far back can I go? Okay, so that is as far as I can go. So I'm going to leave that there just for the moment. It's going to be a place marker just so I'm sure where it is going to end up. Now we go forwards. Now I believe it's going to be probably about that far forward. Let's try. Oop. And that far. Okay, so I bet you I can't go that far without it. Oh, I can. Excellent. Okay. How big do I want it though? So I can place it there. I can't recall. Okay, it is too far. So I'm going to remove the first two sections. And whoops. I don't know why I'm carrying a crossbow. Oh, that was from the Pandora tour. Of course it was. That's when we were getting up to shenanigans. And again, I pulled out the crossbow. I do not need that. Okay, so we're getting some shape here, so you're getting a rough idea as to how this is going to look. I'm liking the look so far. Now the mock-up I did in single player, I started salivating. It was, yeah, I can't wait to reproduce what I had. The shaping, see, to me, I love the shape. If you can make it look clean, like I use overlapping techniques a lot. I mean a lot. I have done a lot of overlapping, and as cool as the overlapping is, why do I feel like I've done something wrong here? So it's the third one in, step it in. Okay, yeah. I've just placed a couple extra and I don't need it yet. That's fine. So it's going to place there and it's going to place there. I'm going to go for tries. Oops. Get in there. And I'm going to snap it there. Should give me a slight overlap. Let's just check. It looks a little bit. That does not look like it's overlapped. I must have snapped to the side and not the ceilings, so let's redo that. Now, as you can see there, I've definitely got the overlap, so it must be right. Oh no, that's better. Okay, so it is definitely snapped in the right place now. And again, I'm going to snap to the same ceilings in the center there. Get that placement, and then I'm going to snap from there. Now how am I going to do that? I am lining it up with that mark there. Okay. So as far as it goes, the outrigger, I'm going to call them outriggers because that's just easy for me to remember. I'm going to copy the opposite side. Should be able to place that there and that there. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to continue to call them outriggers. The pods line up. There may be a less than normal gap between them, but they are evenly matched along, so that should help me keep all the snaps nice and tidy. And I'm going to go forward another couple. Now I feel like I might shave a little bit off the end of this. I feel like it's coming a bit far forward. That's not a problem. Okay, so from here I need to work out my blending. So I'm going to do a wide section on this side. And I'm going to remove that there. Oops. And I'm going to place that there. Now, as you can see, things aren't quite lining up. Okay, so that looks about right. It did actually get a pretty good lineup last time. Let's go above. Whoops. Of course I need a section to snap from. Now removing these is going to be the interesting part. Those in place. Now the reason this isn't quite lining up is because of, obviously I've got a square piece in the middle there. Now I am aware of this and I am counting on this. So don't stress, it's all part of the plan. So as you can see, I've got quite a nice little structure going there. Bring this across. I'll probably be able to remove some of this, at least the sections I don't need. Okay. And I believe I need to do the bottom section here. I'll need to remove that one. When you're working with rafts, I highly recommend that you do not use a demo gun. Why? Because they are a real pain. Okay, so from here I'm going to do my I don't know what to call it, expansion. It's not really the word I'm needing. Let's go 5. I might end up replacing some of these, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to place these down the center. Okay, so the idea is I want it after that section there, so I need another one like that, and then I'll probably go glass from there on. That should work. Now I'm debating on the material as to whether or not I use tech ramps or just straight metal ramps. I quite like the tech ramps. I'm not a big fan of most of the tech stuff, but the ramps are pretty awesome. So let's grab some of those and I'll chuck some of those in my inventory just in case. Let's get rid of that crossbow I keep pulling out. And let's have a test of what this is going to look like. Stop jumping. Nope. One. So, at some point, me using a demo gun, like I said, I don't recommend you use it. I will guarantee you I will pick up one of these pods by accident. I always seem to, which is why I recommend you don't use it. I've got a little bit more experience with this than some people, so I'm willing to take the risk. Nope. One of the problems you're going to encounter is that the raft is moving up and down and you're moving in the water. Oop. So things are going to move around a lot. Yeah, no, I definitely like the tech. I think it blends in quite nicely. I think I'm definitely going to go with that. I don't generally use tech stuff. I find it's kind of ugly. Like the ceilings and whatnot, I don't know, they just seem a little bit less interesting than the ramps and railings. I think the ramps and railings have a really nice look about them. So I've now got that section in. I'm going to do the same on here. So what I'll do is okay, I'm going to need to place the yeah, I'm going to need the central fin. What do I mean by central fin? Well, I'm going to need to place ceilings and then snap off those. Now I think what I'm going to do is a little bit different than what I did on my single player, at least in the construction method. I'm going to pick that up, I'm not going to bother demo gunning it. This is going to be a tad different. Instead of putting a wall down the middle, I'm going to place these along the top, and that will allow me to use the demo gun far easier. Because I need to snap the ramps. Shark over there that's going to annoy me at some point. I do have admin codes on at the moment, so it won't be able to hurt me, but it will annoy me at some point, no doubt. Okay, so we want to snap that there. Come out a little bit. Nope. As you can see, I can use the demo gun above the pod without risking picking up the pod. Now you will come up with tricks like this to get around some of the issues that you face. It comes down to experience. Once you've done something enough times, you'll get sick of doing it and you'll eventually fix it, or at least work around it. There's a lot of snap points that I don't have problems with anymore, just because I'm so used to them failing that I kind of automatically fix them as I go. Oh man, this one really doesn't want to snap. Again, this is the problem with moving underwater. So this will actually increase the build time a little bit just because I have to fight with the snap points. It's bad enough playing musical snap points at the best of times. There's still a few. There's... Ooh. Bit of a lag spike there. I must be having a save. Yet again, as I do a lot of the time when I'm recording, I have forgotten to start a stopwatch, so at some point I'm going to have to go and check that. That will cause a slight delay in... Oh. Ah, I thought I might be seeing you before long. Okay, so you can get out of here. You're not in my range. Come on, I don't want to be facing the raft when I do this. I'm going to fight with a microphone stand. It's in the way at the moment. Me quickly hitting the enter almost involves me knocking the stand over. I must eventually get hold of an overhead one. I'm sure that'll probably make things a bit easier. So there we go, we've got one side connected. Let's go and do the other side. Nope. Let's do a few of these at a time, then I'll go back and fix the broken ones. I think that is definitely the best way to go. Is there an angle I get a better snap from? Not really. Guessing it's just going to be one of those, let's just have a go. Yep. Oop. Nope. I told you that one was going to fail. It paused just as I clicked. Again, no. Oh, again with that one. Okay, let's pick these ones up then. If anyone has any tricks for placing these without having to fight with how it's jumping around, I'd be willing to listen. I mean, even if I placed underwater pods and... Why is it snapping so far across? Oh, you little bugger. Okay. Oop. Doesn't like me today. Oh, I know what it's snapping to. I get it. This is the join, so it's trying to snap to the overlapped underwater pod. No, will it actually let me snap while that's there? No. Okay. So let's remove that one there. Eliminate some of the snap points. Oh, there it goes. Nope. This might get a little bit frustrating at times. It does happen. Seriously, why am I getting turned around? Is something pushing me? Or is it my mouse on the fritz again? I think my mouse must be on the fritz again. It does that from time to time. It's a really good mouse, but every so often it'll make a random turn that you didn't plan. And there's definitely no hair or anything in the laser. It just doesn't like me from time to time. Come on, give me the snap. There we go. Okay, didn't like that one. This one should be a bit easier. Nope. Don't prove me wrong, come on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the easiest stuff first. So I've got all those in place, that's awesome. From here I'm going to go through and place glass on the sides here. not going to do the front because I'm going to mess around with that. I may even pull some of these glass walls out as I make adjustments as I go along. I'm mostly just making sure I've got extra snap points. I should be able to remove any of those ceilings along the top and nothing along here will fall off, but by sorting this now while I'm in the process, I add extra snap points and should reduce the chances of anything funky happening. That's definitely funky. Okay, so that's going to be an annoying one to fix. I'm going to have to open that up, which I will anyway. That wall up. Alrighty, that's one side all covered in. I'm not going to do this inside part because some of this is going to be blocked off. In fact, I can probably do that now. Give me some more walls, please. Now, I'm not going to do tech walls because, as I said before, I think they're pretty ugly. I'm going to go with just straight metal walls. Fs plus, please. We don't actually need the foundations anymore. Getting a bit dark, isn't it? I swear that just made it darker. No, it's 7 o'clock. Okay, it'll get brighter. Let's just camera up for now. Ooh, that's bright. But it should be better for you guys. Okay. Oop, come on. There we go. I just have to make sure all those are looking about even. They look like they're all snapped to the right places. Shoot over this side. Now I actually did this when I did the mock-up in Adobe. I gotta say, Adobe on a raft looks fantastic. Unfortunately, Adobe doesn't count as metal tier, and I don't know. I may end up facing something that'll probably eat it, so I'm not gonna use it. I thought the contrast and color was fantastic, but well, them's the breaks. So as you can see, I'm getting some shape to this now. I do still plan to go glass for that, so I'm going to leave that for the moment. And I think it's time to add the shaping here. Yeah, I'm going to start on this side before I do the other. That way you guys can see where I'm heading. Let's have a look. Now, I'm not sure. I'm going to go for roof. I'm wondering about the tech roof for this particular part. Let's make some of. Wait, that is a S plus, yes. Glass. Stone. Oh, I'm blind apparently. Okay, so it does seem to have a nice texture to it, so that's what I want. I don't want. I can't remember if it had the parts that were textured or not, or if it was that plain kind of look. So I've always said that these are the most annoying things to place at the best of times. Welcome to placing them underwater. Where they are even worse. You are going, if you want to recreate this, you're going to have nightmares over them. They are such a pain. Okay. Looks good. Once you get the first lot on, it's a lot easier though. Okay. Now, this is where things are a little bit weird, because there's going to be a little bit of overlapping techniques. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap onto the tops of these. And I'm not going to join up to the front here. I'm going to carry across. And I do believe it's that, whoop, that spot. Oh. That one there. I do believe it's that one I need. And from here I'm actually going to snap downwards. So this is going to end up in the roof. Come on. Nope, didn't want to do it. Might be easier. Once I get the first one in place, I can go inside and do it from... Ooh, that one was completely wrong. Although... it does actually look pretty cool. How well does it blend though? The trouble is you end up with some parts that there's going to be a gap there, and I can't afford to have the gap. I want it to blend a bit better than that. So up we come. Try this again. Wrong direction. No, I don't want the tick ramp. I don't want the tick ramp. Oof. Okay, let's have a go at changing how we do this. Like I said, I need the first one a bit easier than the rest. Open that. Come on. Rain. Okay, that was a bit easier. Let's go down here now. And I will need to place some more parts to actually get that snapped in the right place. Where can I snap to? Oh, it does snap there. Let's go across. I said there, not there. Excellent. You're going to get a few little spaces that you won't be able to avoid, which is really unfortunate, but it's just the way things work. I'm going to keep going along like this, and with any luck, I won't have as many problems snapping it. Oh, it's going to be a pain again, is it? Oh, wait, there it was. It's all a matter about finding the angle that it places naturally, and then you can work from there. What is stopping me from going backwards? I wish I could duck. It'd be a lot easier if I could duck. No, okay. I'm wasting my time. Let's go and try this from above. Okay, so on that one. Okay, so it's going to be 2 queues. Nope. Oh, don't use demo gun. Let's just pick up the pod that I'm standing in. So 1 just gives me a bunch of jumping around. 2 seems to at least jump on the snap point that I want. That's the trick that I use with a lot of my placings. If I can't do it with a single plate, like just placing it free, I'll try placing it, pressing Q once, twice, and see which snap point it's trying to give me. See if it will do it like this. I think I actually hit a different button. That's definitely the wrong one. Oh, that's the tick ramp. Take ramp. Roof. Now the trouble is I can't place this very close without risking creating another, oops, did that the wrong way around, without risking another snap point. And I really don't want to have another snap point involved. The more snap points you have, the harder this gets. As you can see, it's still jumping around. Single Q's getting me a good effect there. Let's try and go for the same angle. Hopefully we can get the same luck. Yep, 1 Q and the wrong direction. No, that's tick ramp. Come on, show me the E for. Oh, there's the roof. Nope, there. Okay, so it's going to be a double press. There we go. How far along do I have to come? A little bit further. Nope. This honeycomb texture looks really cool. Okay. Awesome. In fact, I'm not sure I need the section in there to join those, which looks pretty good. Oh. Yeah, I can't even see the reticle at the moment. I wish I could actually do this building above ground, so above water, so you could actually see a little bit clearer. That's the problem with recording underwater. It's not the perfect setup for recording. Okay, so we're getting some interesting look here now. I'm gonna make some more of those. And I'm really loving how this creative mode works. You press 1, you get a full 20 stack. That is exactly what I want. It's right up my alley. Okay, that one snapped in a horrible place. I am not going to be able to get that out. I tell a lie? I may be able to. Okay, and that snap I need? Yes it is. Awesome. So, that one can come off. We're going to snap some of these in place. And like I said, I could have used tech along here, but I think it's going to look better in metal. Ooh, bounce on the fritz again. I must get around to doing something about it. I love this mouse so much. Things that we do for the things we like. Okay. Okay. That did not look like it was placing where it was placing. Can't snap downwards, unfortunately. It was nothing like what I wanted. Hope you're having fun watching me fight with these snap points. If you haven't watched my Project Pandora vids, I really enjoy this kind of thing. This is a little bit more of a challenge. It's a bit frustrating for people. It's a little bit frustrating for me. Just a little bit. but I really enjoy the process. I need to remove these because that looks a little bit... Oh, I need that one actually. Oh, I screwed that up. Damn it. Yeah, some of these parts along here, they're going to frustrate you. And don't think I don't get a little bit frustrated. There are times where I'm about ready to just put it down for a time being. Oh, I don't even know where that snapped. If you do get to that point, go and work on something else. Don't let the frustration get to you. If it does, walk away, work on another section of the base, whatever you're building, and just keep going. Don't let it put you off. There are going to be times where you get annoyed. It's the same. I always tell people when they pick up Ark and they ask what's the best skill or what's the thing that you should work towards. My usual comment is get used to dying. If you're playing Ark, get used to dying. Especially when you first start, you're going to die a lot. Over and over and over again. And it's kind of the same with building. Get used to it not going your way, because it's not a lot. Now, how far out is that going to go? I'm going to need to remove that one. And if you let it get to you, it's just going to get worse and worse. Just go with the flow. Why are you giving me... There we go. Awesome. I can fill those sections in. Is that guy down? Nope. That guy down? No. Oh, this just gets more and more fun. I don't really mind it too much. Once you learn that it's going to do this sort of thing and you're going to have the frustrations, I think that's half the method of actually getting over it, is just stop worrying about it. You know, if you're going to embark on a big or challenging build, just be aware that you're going to have problems and it's going to take you twice as long as you expect it's going to take, or twice as many resources because you keep breaking them. That's pretty much how I work. I always figure I'm going to end up losing heaps of materials. Okay, I'm currently spamming the Q to see if I can actually fill those holes in, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. And I'm definitely going to add one in there. I'm working out how I'm going to do the end of these as well. So you actually need something to snap to there. One in place. Oops. Nope. Okay, so I should be able to pull these off and nothing will happen. I will need one in place. Snap those two. Whoops. Pick that up in a bit. Apparently I'm defecating underwater. I'm sure that would be a very bad thing to do. Thankfully I don't have any experience in that matter. Ooh, I kind of overdid that. I highly recommend that you do not build with flippers on. These little movements that you do where you think, oh, I just need to tap just ever so slightly to the side. They're hugely exaggerated when you're wearing flippers, and I've actually swum completely past the raft that I was working on. Come on. Give me that snap. Nope. Okay, seeing as you want to go that way, let's try it from below. Still no. 1Q definitely didn't seem to do it. 2Qs didn't seem to help much either. The annoying thing is, it is bouncing to the snap point that I want. It just doesn't seem to want to default to that one when it actually places. Ah, now that is the wrong one, but I can snap upwards. So take that. Ah. And let's remove some of these. Ooh, that was a close one. I almost picked up the ramp. There we go, look at that shape. Oops. It's starting to come along now. Now, I'm just gonna nip across and check the record time. So the video will get a little bit funky for Okay, so we're doing pretty well. I'm going to keep the build times as usual to about an hour. I will need to do some work to fill in those gaps. I might do that at the end. Those ones will need to be done as well. Okay, so let's fill this in. Now that did look like it snapped to different points there. Okay, so that's the odd one out, so we'll change that one. There we go. And we're going to repeat everything that we're doing on top underneath as well. So it's going to take a little while. I don't blame you if you don't want to stick around for the whole build. Not everybody is going to want to. Now this one's going to irritate me, I know it. Probably shouldn't have stuck those walls in place just yet. Because I have a feeling that I'm going to have to remove some to get these out of here. Nope. Nope. Okay, so I called it. That is really not giving me the spot that I need, is it? That is a horrible snap. How did it manage that one? Oh, come on, really? You actually placed upside down. Is that even a thing? Problem with using textured stuff. Let's just put those two in for starters and try off that. It may just be a thing. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to live with that, I think. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to get upset about it because what's the point? Like I said, as soon as you start getting upset with things like that, it's like, oh, the pattern's not going to work. That's fine. As far as it goes, most boats are different on the bottom than they are on the top. but I would like to have had the pattern on both. Because that honeycomb look is really cool. Now, one thing I always say in my videos is make sure you're... Whoop. So we have server save. Make sure you set your hotbar up properly, which I haven't done this time. So I'm going to fix that. Oops. Now always make sure that the things that you're placing are in the easiest to reach spot. Because why make it harder for yourself? Should be able to get an easier place of these. Can I go out that far? Yeah, it looks like it. Now I wonder if I can pick up the ceiling. Maybe one that I can only pick up from inside. That's fine. Okay, so that side's mostly sorted. I'm just going to rip the bottom walls out of here because I know I'm going to need to. You watch, this will be where it flips over and gives me the texture on the bottom, and I start going, why the hell didn't you do it on the rest of them? Why can't they texture both sides? They look awesome. Oh, I totally thought I had the underwater pod there for a second. I'm not sure how long this build is actually going to take. I mean, it looks like we've come a long way already, but the superstructure of this is actually pretty basic. Okay, whatever. Again, whatever. Because it's mostly the underwater pods, which take up very little in the way of structures, being just one each, they're actually quite cost effective when it comes to structure count. I believe I can't take that out, can I? Yep, that's where it's going. Going to be easier actually placing this before the ramps are all in place. That one, don't know where that one went. Come on, there we go. I bet you it won't let me have that one. Actually need the ceiling on top to do it. Okay, so that's where you ended up. Not a problem. Okay, I can fill those in. I do not need those anymore. That is not matching, so let's pull that out. Okay, all those match now. Fill in the blanks. Now the foundation work on ramps, on rafts like this are a little bit funky. You can do things with them that you can't do in regular builds. Like if I pull out a lot of this structure, most of it will actually stay here. Stuff that should fall down doesn't. That does look like it's the right spot. Can't tell you why, but it's very handy when you're building in rafts. It's the one area that they've given which is a little bit more forgiving. come on. I feel like talking to it like a puppy. Come on, you can do it. Perhaps a small child. And you know, I don't talk to kids like that. Why does that feel like it's not lining up properly? Put that one there in place. Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, if I'm talking to kids, I actually talk to them normally. I've always thought baby talk was a real insult to them. Inside. Awesome. Can't do anything about that one. Okay. So let's lose these top ones. So as you can see, I've actually come up towards the raft a bit more. So it's good that I went down as far as I did. Otherwise I'd be touching the raft. Okay, so let's get a bit of a look at this. Coming up to the time limit for today's video, so let's see what the damage is. So what do you think? Starting to look a little bit more interesting? Still a long way to go. Long way. But it's coming together. It's gonna look good. I think while I'm at it and while we still have a few minutes, I'm gonna go through and open up some of the inside. Because all these will need to be opened through, and it will also help me get some of the annoying things that have snapped on the inside. Now there's going to be some funky work because of the way I did those overlaps for the outriggers. I've already got that worked out. As long as it plays out like I have tested, it shouldn't be a problem. I wish you could do this without opening everything into water again. That's the only reason why I don't actually use these on anything serious. Oh, of course. No, I'm going to have to do that from the other side. Sometimes when you do these overlaps, you won't be able to access things because it's trying to give you the porthole that you've already opened. In which case you just have to come in from another angle and do it that way. Unfortunate, but that's what happens. Okay, so let's connect this first outrigger. Huh. Okay. Which one are you giving me? Close. Look around, can I get that other one? Nope. Gonna give me the same issue on this side. I believe it will. Close. Oh, what was that one? Open. Okay, so I have to be looking in the right angle. No problem. Open. Open. Okay, so it's giving me the funny one. Vacuum compartment. Oh, I saw something there. Close. No, that's not the one I want. That one? Open left. Okay. Open. And yes, I am opening the front. be easier to get in and out of. And the back will get opened as well. Now I'm going to have an overlapping section here, so it will look a bit different. And as you can see, there are little bits sticking through the floor. There's no way around that. I'm going to leave that there for the time being, actually. What have we got? Let's remove... Oh. Open. This will be a section that's going to have... Come on. Seriously? Who did that place? Okay, I'm just going to retrieve that one. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do the connections. These are going to be... Oh, seriously? Actually going to have to open that just to pick that up. And then close it again. So I am going to freeze these ones. So you won't be looking through them. So you won't see any of the stuff that's going on. You're literally just going to be walking through a closed-in section. Freeze. Come on. Freeze. There you go. That's how the passages are going to be done. I'm not going to finish them off just yet. I want to finish opening up. If it'll let me. Open back portal. There we go. Open. Open. And then we get the funny one. That one, no. Oh, show me an E in a different place. Open left portal. Yep. Yeah, if these actually didn't flood every time you made changes to them, I would actually make an underwater base. The reason I don't is, why would I want to put dinos in here when if someone makes the slightest change to the build, you're going to risk drowning all your dinos. I've always wanted them to make the pods be able to be flooded from above ground, so you could put these on the ground and then flood them and fill them full of water, and then actually have out of the water pens, which would be fantastic. But again, as soon as somebody makes a change, all the water drops out, everything just gets eviscerated. So until they fix that, there's going to be very few things that I use them for. Okay, so we are now mostly sorted. This section here will be wet. So you're actually going to end up with a few segments of water here. So drain connected. Another one here. Right. Connected. I'm not going to bother doing this side. Probably won't even worth doing any of these. But this gives you a feel as to how big the space is going to be. It's going to be a nice big area. It's going to be a nice amount of working space. I think it's going to look good. So we're starting to get the profile now. Oops. I'm liking it. I think it looks good. So, it's time of the day to wrap it up. I hope you liked the video. I hope you like what you see. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I really appreciate it if you do hit the like button. It pumps me up in the rankings and gets my videos seen by more people. So if you can, please go ahead and do that. I really hope to see you in my Discord. I have a Discord for anybody that wants to talk building or anything like that. You're welcome to join. The link will be in the description. And most of all, enjoy your building. Take care, and I'll see you later.